We bring the team Monday morning from two former wideouts. One's a Hall of Famer, and the other one is T.O.
He's a wannabe Hall of Famer.
You know what? I am a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my high school and my college Hall of Fame, and that counts. So don't you take my Hall of Fame away, baby.
No, nobody knows anything about that.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. But let's recap this weekend, right? We got one more game left. That's the Cardinals and the Rams today here at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. But this weekend I don't think there was any big upsets. I think instead of Hall of Fame, there should be a Hall of Shame. Dallas Cowboys. Well, okay, let me ask you, were you expecting the Cowboys to win? Because I wasn't.
No, I was not. I wasn't, from a standpoint of just watching some highlights and just seeing what the Niners have done the last 4 or 5 weeks. You saw that they were starting to build some momentum. And as you know, and everybody else knows that have played the game of football, especially number one is health, and then it's a game of momentum. Yeah. And I thought the Niners, their play the last 3 to 5 weeks, they had a lot of momentum going into the playoff. And that's when you're hot, you want to stay on that streak, and that's what they've done. And I thought they did a great job. Shanahan has done a great job of utilizing their MVP of their team, and I think that's Deebo Samuel. They're using him in a variety of ways, making plays out of the backfield, playing receiver. He's doing it all, and I think that's in addition to really Garoppolo playing well too. I think there was some question as to how his health was going to hold up because he had that bum thumb injury. So I think, again, like I said, the MVP and the play of Deebo Samuel, obviously, like I said, it came down to who took care of the ball the best, and that almost cost the 49ers. But I think the costly play, and I think what everybody's been talking about, is the questionable call for the Cowboys with the play that, of Dak running the ball was the last play of the game. And I don't think it was a bad play call. I think it was bad execution of that play.
Absolutely. And again, what we're saying, because everybody's like, how you guys not pick the Dallas Cowboys to win? Don't forget, in the playoffs, it's not about the best team. It's about who's playing the best. And the 49ers, again, they're hotter coming into the playoffs. The Cowboys been up and down this last 6 to 7 weeks. So I think with them, of course, getting more healthier, especially early in the game, Bosa, right? So he went out, right? And then you lost Warner, but I think the momentum was already there, and they were going to, they knew they could out physical the Cowboys and kind of let the defense play. And as far as that last second, and again, that's the right call, because usually the quarterback, if it plays out in practice, right? It's a 10 to 12 second play. The quarterback comes up, 10 to 12 yards. Right. The offense gets down there, you pick it up, you spike it with 1 or 2 seconds on the clock. Right. But since Dak ran it like 15, 16 yards, and, now they're looking at 1.5 seconds. And of course, they lost the game with that, half a second basically.
Right. And you have to take into account the referee has to touch the ball too. Yeah. So he was already out of position. He was rushing. He was running to get in position to obviously spot the ball. But you saw Dak got the ball spotted, it gave it to the center, and like I said, the clock doesn't start, or the play doesn't start until the referee, in fact, spots the ball. So I think again,
for all you young players out there, that's why you're supposed to give the ball to the ref. Don't put it on the ground, because now the ref has to come in and re-spot the ball on every single play. So for all you young players, make sure you take note of that little note as well.
Right. Now, I think not even just that play. In itself, if you look at it, I'm like, oh, well, this cost us the game. But yeah, it's a game of inches. It's a game of seconds and milliseconds too. You've seen over the course of these playoff games and even the end of the regular season, some of the receivers, they're gesturing, they're making first down, they're gesturing instead of giving the ball to the receiver. Time is of the essence, and every second counts, and you have to be mindful of that. So some of those things you have to be a pro. You have to be a student of the game and understand the game at the same time.
I thought the 49ers really let the Cowboys stay in that game, because when it was on second down with about 4 minutes left, they called a pass and a waggle, and Garoppolo threw an incomplete, which stops the clock, right? And then on that same drive, Debo ran out of bounds, and that's another 40 seconds. So you're looking like at a minute and a half of difference of the game clock, which that game should have been over, and they shouldn't even been in that scenario. So again, all these things, all these minute little seconds and going out of bounds, everything adds up, in the end.
Right, yeah, because that could have cost the Niners the game as well. I mean, you have to be, again, you have to be cerebral. You have to understand what you're doing. I know a lot of people talk about, time management, clock management. As a professional player, you have to understand down and distance. You have to understand the clock. You have to understand the situation at hand so you can make the proper play. And so, again, you saw it could have backfired. It could have gone either way for either of these teams. But again, to your point about, it's about who's the best team. If you look at the tail of the tape and you go by position, I still feel that, the 49ers have the best team. Yeah, the Cowboys, they got the big stadium, the best probably stadium, but that doesn't equate to big play. And I think, that's what a lot of people are really investing their celebration and their time and rooting for their team for. And I understand being a fan, but us as football players, we don't look at it that way. We're realistic about what it is that these teams are presenting and how they're going to win the game. It's offense, it's defense, and it's special teams. Special teams is probably the weakest when you look at the 49ers. But if you look at every position, I think, the 49ers, I think they're head and shoulders above at those positions.
So now the 49ers are going to the Packers, and if you're missing both, so you're missing Fred Warner, right. I don't see them competing. But again, from the beginning of probably the season and or especially the playoffs since last week, we both agree it's Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady that's going to be in the NFC Championship. So these are good games and all, but we knew Dallas and the 49ers are not probably getting past the Packers, even though today they said Hurts came and played a great game against the Bucs, and maybe, first playoff game, the numbers weren't what he wanted and the interceptions were high. But again, it's his second year. He made the playoffs. Let that go, because I think everybody's going to be like, oh, get him out of here. He can't win a championship. Like, there's no quarterbacks that are coming in, going Super Bowls, second, third, fourth year. Okay, take the Patrick Mahomes thing away because, again, he had a whole roster to support him, right? Jalen Smith does not have that roster, trust me. So I think it'll be fine in the long run.
Right, and if you look at that game too, I think the offensive coordinator, I think they're going to go back and look at this film, and they saw that there were a number of times, and I heard them say, DeVonta Smith, he was one-on-one. He had one-on-one matches. They challenged their guys to play him one-on-one, and they couldn't get him the ball until the second half. And they started to really connect on some of those one-on-one matches, and he started to exploit them. So that's something for the organization to look back on, the offensive coordinator as a unit to see and make sure that they try to take advantage of those one-on-one opportunities, especially when you have a talent like DeVonta Smith. Sometimes, like you look at the Buccaneers, look at what they did with Mike Evans. Mike Evans, he had probably 10 targets within the first couple of quarters, and he started the ball. That's how they should have done. But
I do think that has a lot to do with an experienced quarterback knowing how to manipulate the defense and get them in looks so they can get certain looks. I don't think Jalen is probably there yet, so he probably needs more help from the offense.
That falls on the offensive coordinator to put him in those positions to help, kind of manipulate, what you're saying, manipulate those coverages and the matchups. But at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't think he played bad, but obviously, like I said, he needs a lot of time. And again, he was going up against a good Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense.
That's a Super Bowl champion defense, Again, for him to play and, he played bad. Who is not going to play that bad in that game? You know what I'm saying? You go back to the dopest Hall of Famers ever as a quarterback, their first playoff game is usually probably the numbers aren't what people think they are. So, again, I think Jalen will be fine. Again, brush this off, go to work in the offseason and come back next year. I think he'll be fine. Yeah, and looking forward to the Buccaneers and who they play, the Cardinals or the Rams game. I think that's on Monday night. So definitely, like I said, I think that's going to be
Whoever plays the Bucs, that's going to be a challenging game as well.
Yeah, they're coming off a short week. They both play tonight, and again, it's the same, right? A-Rod versus Tom Brady in the NFC Championship, right? That kind of takes us to the AFC again. So the Bengals and Raiders game, again, I think the Bengals are playing great. I think the Bengals are the team. They're playing great at the right time.
Playing hot. I mean, playing with that momentum. And again, they didn't have an answer. Like I said, I don't understand why they would just let Jamar Chase just get off. Did you not watch what he was doing throughout the whole entire season? Yeah. Right. Not let alone the last probably 3 to 5 weeks. So again, that's a poor defensive strategy on the Raiders' behalf. Again, offensively, they needed some more weapons, I think, to even contend with them. They brought Deshaun Jackson over there. I don't know how many looks, how many targets he had, but why bring a guy over there?
He's the third or fourth guy, so he's probably not targeted. That whole offense runs through Waller, the tight end. But I think they were overmatched in that game. I think they were, to me, lucky to get into the playoffs and everything kind of went their way. But I think their offseason is going to kind of show the direction that the Raiders are going. Again, with the whole Gruden thing, and you had the Henry Ruggs situation. It's a tired organization, and they just kind of need to go back, lick their wounds, and get ready for the 2022 season. But again, commend Derek Carr for even getting them to the playoffs, and I think he should definitely stay in Oakland. And he should definitely stay in Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. So again,
but yeah, I mean, you look at the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals, again, tell of the tape. Again, I think they're head and shoulders above the Raiders. I picked the Bengals to win. I mean, if I would have, bet some money this weekend, I would be in the positive. But I'm not really a betting man unless I'm betting on myself. You should know that, Hatch.
Then you'll definitely lose everything.
The inadvertent whistle. I mean, I don't know what the case
for Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I don't even. They looked at the tape. They reviewed it. I mean,
the
really,
ball was already in the air. Yeah, the ball was already in the air. The receiver,
it's
open.
Like you can't freeze frame it and then take it back. Like the ball was already gone, and then they blew the whistle. So again, early anticipation, prematurely blew the whistle. Whatever the case may be, that didn't cost them the game. That wasn't going to prevent them from losing the game. I don't think. Like I said, it was just one of those things that the Raiders, like I said, they made more mistakes. And
they lost the game more than that one play.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So at the end of the day, like I said, poor Raiders, my Cincinnati Bengals,
trash.
All my teams that played this weekend, they won.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. They won because you ain't there.
Hey, Buffalo Bills won, the Niners won, and the Cincinnati Bengals won.
They won because you ain't there. Well, shoot, that's it. That's how we go do it. We go finish it off tonight with the Rams home against the Cardinals. We'll see what happens there, and then we see you guys next week on Monday Morning Wideout.